Sports fans, here we go again. Y'all know who we are. We'll go ahead. We're going to break down the NFC South Division this week. Go ahead and I'll pass it over there to Josh.
Well, actually, we're going to pass it to Chuck. He's going to take the first team, which is the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're confusing. We look alike. So, that's them twins.
You know, that whole twin effect.
I know, right?
Sometimes our wives can't even tell us apart.
Right. All right, so we're starting off with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, pretty much you got the same thing you got last year in 2020. Exact same team, exact same roster. Nobody left. They had a new addition. I believe it's a wide receiver in the first round. Don't know his name. Doesn't matter because they still got Mike Evans.
Damn.
Godwin, Miller, and Antonio Brown re-signed. They still got running backs of Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette. Defense is the same. Todd Bowles is still there. Brian Leftwich is still OC, and Bruce Arians is still there. So they're just running the back. So basically, you're getting the same thing you got in 2020. And the same thing you got in 2020 is what you're going to get in 2021. That's
Short
it.
and simple.
That's it.
Very.
Dude, what was that even 2 minutes?
I don't even know if that was 30 seconds.
Hey, Tara, I hope he's not that quick. And
Oh, wow.
all right, so I guess
It's even quicker. Don't add to my time.
Damn.
Damn, you is not editing that out.
all right. So then that brings it to me, which I should have kicked it off because I have the New Orleans Saints, and they did take the division last year with a record of, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say it was 12-4.
Yeah.
And let me pull that up to be yes, 12-4. They also went 6-0 in the division. Which dang, they
swept the
they
whole
swept
division.
your Tampa Bay.
Yep, but they didn't.
Wow.
Win, they didn't win what matters. They didn't win it. So
Such a proud father.
All right. Well, hey, the New Orleans Saints basically kind of the same situation. A lot of the head coach is still Sean Payton. Definitely, he started there with the Saints back in 2006. Took them to the Super Bowl in 2009. Basically had I don't know how many division championships. I think it's somewhere around 6. Definitely a long-standing, good record over there of staying above 10. I think the last 3 seasons are 12, 13, 13, and 12 are the last 3 seasons records. And so, if you take a look, they've held their own against some pretty stout opponents thanks to Drew Brees. Now that is the question here: what are they going to do with the new QB? Obviously, they're all in on Jameis Winston. We've actually covered that a little bit last year when they picked him up. Yes. And I have to admit, I'm optimistic that he'll be able to come in and actually play. The only problem that he had in Tampa Bay was the turnovers. Now, hopefully with Sean Payton, who is a QB whisperer, he'll play to his strengths and try to minimize those mistakes. If that is a successful formula, I believe that Sean Payton can pull this off. But obviously, we'll have to wait to see how the chemistry plays out on the field. Their defense is stout. The offensive coordinator is Pete Cartmichael, also been there for a few years, and the DC coordinator is Dennis Allen. Their lineup for their first 6 is actually it could definitely be an interesting one. Week 1 is Green Bay, and that's going to be a true test to see where they're at least on the beginning side. Then they go to Carolina. I believe that's a win. Then they go to New England. That will be a tough out, and that'll show us exactly what Belichick has in store for the NFL this year. Then they come back home, host the Giants. That's a win. And then they go to Washington, which if the offense is clicking by then, I give them a win on that one, even though that Washington defense is pretty tough. And then in week 6, they have their bye week. So that first 5, they're looking at hopefully a 2 or a 3 win out of this to really kind of give them some momentum for that last stretch of 11 games. Draft-wise, I have that over here on my notes. They pretty much went primarily with defense, picking up Peyton Turner, defensive end from Houston. They went round 2 with a linebacker from Ohio State. They picked up a cornerback from Stanford in round 3. And then they picked up, ironically enough, a QB from Notre Dame in round 4. 6 and 7 rounded it out with an offensive tackle and a wide receiver. And so basically, it looks like they're trying to stick with that solid defense, and that'll definitely help them keep a hold of the division. I don't see any threat from Atlanta. The only team that they're going to have to worry about from their own division will be Tampa Bay. And with that, I definitely taking a look at their schedule. I definitely give them credit for about, I'm going to say anywhere between 11 and 12 wins this year, and that's including the likes of like Dallas, Washington. They play Tampa Bay twice, so that's probably going to be 2 of their losses, and maybe Buffalo, depending on what Buffalo does. So that's all I got on New Orleans. Who wants to go next?
Well, we got the Atlanta Falcons. And when I say we got the Atlanta Falcons, Atlanta has the Atlanta Falcons. This team went, what, 5? They won 5 games last year.
4
games. I'm sorry. I gave you one extra.
4.
They got a new head coach in Arthur Smith, which used to be the offensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans. That's the one bright spot I see for them. They got somebody coming in who put together a pretty good offense over there in Tennessee. With the bad trade of trading Julio Jones to Tennessee, I want to mention that. I think that was a thank you for letting me go over here to Atlanta and see what I could do. I don't see any offense there. Matt Ryan is, 12, 13 years in? Maybe 14 years in?
I think it's
13 years in?
Been there a minute.
He's definitely a good tenure.
Yeah, so I'm like, and he's the off and on quarterback. I always use the phrase, you don't know which Matt Ryan you're gonna get. You're gonna get the same Matt Ryan always. Even the Super Bowl Matt Ryan is still the same Matt Ryan. You have no weapons over there. I mean, I'm looking at the wide receiver. Calvin Ridley is the only name I recognize.
Yeah.
And he's a good wide receiver, but he's not a number one. And he's right now their number one receiver. Their running backs, Mike Davis, I've heard his name before. He's played on a couple teams last couple of years. Cordell Patterson, not really a starting running back to me.
He's a wide receiver turned running back.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah. Okay, that says enough right there.
Yeah.
Quadri Olson and Tony Brooke James. These are guys. I mean, either they're rookies or just somebody. You don't know these people. I looked through their roster and they have a lot of players that's played in the last 3 years. They've been only in the league for 4 or 5 years. And they've been on team after team after team in 4 or 5 years. I don't see this team doing anything other than making Atlanta Falcon fans mad. Last season, they had the bad defense, the bad offense. They had bad time management, play calling, everything around. So now with the new head coach, hopefully that will change. And with that change, when I go through their first 6 games, they got Philly first, Tampa Bay second, New York Giants, Washington, New York Jets, bye week, and Miami. If they win one of those games, it will probably be against the Jets. And that's only because of the rookie quarterback. That's the only thing. Atlanta, I'm hoping I'm wrong and you guys show up and pull one of the miracles, be one of those teams that did something great because you're going against Tampa Bay. You're going against New Orleans. 2 of the powerhouses in that division for a very long time. So I'm not even gonna say I'm rooting for you because I'm really not, because I just don't see. I don't even want to waste my emotions on it. But I hope you guys do well with what you got.
Sorry, Falcon fans, but the projection is dismal.
If you guys can pull off 3 games this year, kudos to you.
It's the same team that lost to the Dallas Cowboys with that.
With the 10-point lead,
10-point lead.
with the offside kick.
Okay, like I said, bad play calling, bad time management, bad
they didn't know
everything.
they could touch the ball.
bad time. Yeah, it was just. But then, of course, I mean, doesn't that sum it up? I mean, if I'm not mistaken, it's a new head coach over there.
That's
right?
the only thing. That's the only bright spot. They got a new head coach.
Yeah,
that's it.
Atlanta is the NFC South version of Dallas.
They're the NFC South version of Houston.
No, Dallas, because no matter what kind of coach you get in there, you're gonna get the same result. But it's the players. I'm sorry, it's the players.
You gotta look at it, gentlemen.
Right.
A few years back, they were Super Bowl in. I guess you could say.
Yeah,
Right.
But you also have to point out different coaching staff,
Right.
and solid offensive weapons with Julio and what was the other one? White.
Yeah, Roddy White. They had
Roddy
Roddy White.
White,
And I think that wasn't Riley's rookie year. I think it was Riley's rookie year.
Yeah, and
So-
then
and
they
then-
had a decent running game.
Yeah.
So and a semi decent defense, and that was really what cost them is the
Yeah.
defense gave up too much.
Well, the defense caved in towards the end because the defense came out fast and they were putting Brady on the ground.
Yep.
Right.
So what's his name? Grady Jarrett, whatever his name is. He was sacking Brady
Over and over
and over again. So when they picked up him off the blitz,
nobody else
then all of
played.
a sudden that was it. It was just dead after that. Corners,
Right.
So
So I guess that leaves us to the last and definitely not least is Carolina, because I believe they're in a building year, aren't they?
Yeah, this is definitely restructuring. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to present to you the Carolina Panthers. To all you fans out there, Carolina, let's see what's going to happen this season. To overview really quick, Josh, you said the Saints. Of course, they did go 12-4. Buccaneers were definitely after them, 11-5.
Yep.
Falcons 4-12. Panthers were actually third in this division with 5-11. Just one went over the Falcons. Basically, what I put together for my little homework this week for Carolina, for you Carolina fans, is I want to reach out and say, let's look at it as going from Teddy Bridgewater quarterback to the Sam Darnold quarterback. Not knocking anybody, but let's just kind of keep, comparison apples to apples as we speak or as we talk about it. As far as I looked at it, what's going to be the look of the Carolina Panthers? I mean, we all have to put an overview mirror on it. This season, as far as I'm concerned, okay, this is the quarterback, Sam Darnold. Some folks are looking at Darnold as a failure when he was with New York. Well, you got to take it that he was a third pick as in the 2018 draft, not only completing 59% of his pass attempts, but then throwing many interceptions as he did touchdowns. So you got to look at it. The Jets did trade him to Carolina, parting ways with him just for a reason. Well, Carolina fans, I believe y'all see very passionate about football and the love for the team because, I mean, you got to think of names like Robbie Anderson and left tackle Cam Irvin. They seem very supportive of Sam Darnold taking leadership of walking into this position. I mean, it's not a lot every day that you see that, but, I mean, you got to see it is for what it is on that one. Also, the return of running back Christian McCaffrey, who lost 13 games last season. He's very eager to see the Panthers go showbound this coming season with no more Julio Jones. I mean, that was pretty much a lot of people think that he was the team bringing them out, but it doesn't take one man to bring the team. I mean, you got to think about that. Let's just see if the offense is ready to get the team moving back to a definite effort to possibly get this team to. I like to use it as a saying as how close are we as the train hugging the tracks? Are they close to possibly being? Can we say a 10-6 season, maybe 11-5 season? I don't know. That's kind of hypothetical, but not way too much out of reach. You never know. Lastly, I just want to go a little bit about the defense. You got Phil Snow as the defensive coordinator. I think he's going to crack the whip a little bit to make them a top 10 possible defense. I'm not saying he is, but, I mean, it'd be good to see that.
I think they have some good components over there. It could be they can crack the top 10.
Well, and good point there, Josh. They added a lot of key points there. Linebacker Denzel Perryman, defensive end Morgan Fox, cornerback A.J. Boye, I think I pronounced it. Boye. Tackle Daquan Jones, and then linebacker Frankie Lavu in free agency, just alone on that one. I mean, are they needing more pressure? Of course, still. But Carolina, I see, is improving in a lot of key areas. Not enough to put on the spot of a lot of big teams, but they still have to use what they have for now.
Yeah.
And I say that AJ Boye, that's going to make that secondary a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I see it for sure. Overall, head coach Matt Rule, he isn't gritting his teeth or anything as far as I see, but last season record doesn't really make him too happy. He definitely wants to improve, and the whole team does as well.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Let's just see if a breakthrough happens. I mean, they definitely need it. So
Yeah.
So I think overall we all agree, more likely than not, Tampa Bay's on top. New Orleans should be a solid second.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Carolina does some crazy stuff this week.
Well,
this year.
we'll see.
Well,
That 11-5 and 10-6.
I
You
know
see that
I
possible?
can
that's
say
a
one
lot.
thing for sure. I know
I'm
Carolina's
thinking,
going to be better than 5.
8, 9, 9, 8,
5.
8, 9, 9, 8 max. But I guarantee you,
8 and 8.
if Atlanta wins 3 games, then we pretty much spot on the whole.
Oh yeah, I forgot that extra week. That extra week we have this season too.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
And
18
think
weeks.
about the numbers on that one.
17 games, 18
Yeah.
weeks. It's going to be an interesting season.
Yes,
There.
it is.
All right.
Not going
Thanks
to need
for
that
joining us,
tiebreaker
ladies.
stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. And stay tuned because we're going to break down the AFC South next week.
This one will be interesting.
And make sure like, subscribe, give us some feedback. We
Share.
definitely need it. Share.
And
Sharing is caring.
and please keep
And
an
it
eye out.
matters.
We will be doing a channel switch here within the next couple of weeks.
I have baked.
Have baked.
We're out.